I'll show you something that probably makes me more unique than a lot of the other marketing companies out there. And here's what's crazy. I'm a little nervous. Hey everyone, I want to tell you how I started my digital marketing agency business, because in all reality, I kind of accidentally fell into it. So I'll show you kind of step by step where I was about 5 years ago when I first started digital marketing and where I am now and how I ended up here in Charlotte. So here we go. Hey, my name is Logan Shinholser and I am the founder, I hate using those terms, but I'm the founder of Full Sail Marketing. We are a digital marketing agency specifically for contractors and construction companies. I want to take you on a quick little journey about how I actually came to be the owner of this company, what it's been like so far, and where I really see us moving in the future. So here's where it all starts. 5 years ago, I had just graduated college with, crazy enough, a degree in chemical engineering. When I graduated college, I was just digging ditches for my dad's pond company, doing that in the summertime, and I absolutely I didn't like it. I didn't like digging ditches. I've done manual work every summer for years and years and years, but I figured, you know what, I just graduated college. What's the next best thing I can accomplish in life? So coming back from an actual conference with my dad, he looked at me on the plane and said, hey man, do you want to take over the marketing? I was like, I know nothing about marketing. He said, look, if I'm gonna waste a bunch of money on a marketing company like I'm doing right now, I might as well waste it on you. And it was the very first time that anything related to Full Sail or marketing in general in my life started. So the very first thing that he did was he actually hired a coach. He hired Tom Reber, who was a business coach, but he understands the whole marketing game. All right, I want to take a really quick time out from this, and I want to tell you kind of the mindset of a 23-year-old. I was unbelievably embarrassed to tell people I actually had a business coach. Same thing that guys do. We don't want to ask for directions. We just figure it out. Surround yourself with those that have already done it and those that can help you. There's nothing wrong with asking for help, but for me at that age, nobody knew I actually had somebody helping me out along the way. I just told everybody, oh yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, I learned it on my own. It was BS, but you know, you'll figure it out along the way. Ask for help if you need it. It will skyrocket you way faster, because it's way more painful to be a few years down the road not really progressing than it is to actually swallow your pride and ask someone. Now back to it. And Tom was instrumental in everything. And here's why Tom was big, because what I thought Tom was teaching me were marketing tactics and strategies. But in reality, he taught me the one thing that I still do every single day, and that is focus on the customer. Focus on bringing value to the customer, because if you can do that as a business, which I didn't know back then, you're gonna kill it. And you're gonna be building a brand, not just generating a bunch of leads. Come on. All right, so we got Alex setting up on the camera over there. I'll tell you what, this bench is pretty wet. So what Tom taught me was all about, it's called content marketing, right? All about how do you actually help your clients grow their brand. All right, and at that point, my client was my dad, right? So I didn't really have a straight client base. It was marketing for his company. So it was all about helping them learn all about the pond world. So I spent a year of writing blogs, writing articles, and editing video. And in the meantime, I'm training for the Navy along the way. So I'm literally waking up at about 6 in the morning, marketing for a couple hours. I then went off, would go on base. I was in a special program, got to train, got to exercise, all that stuff for about 4 or 5 hours a day. I was in pretty good shape back then. Would come home, more marketing. So my life was literally marketing and working out, and that's it. And sprinkled in there somewhere, I was a diver in college. I was actually a high diver at SeaWorld in a dolphin show. So if you ever been out to SeaWorld and you saw this dolphin show and you saw people doing some high diving, you might have seen me. Now, before all this, my dad, business owner, he was trying to kind of carry on his legacy. But I was like, Dad, I'm not gonna take over your business. I don't want to step into your shadow. I don't want to be known as Steve's son. I'm good, man. I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm gonna blaze my own trail. And that's really where the Navy came in. Well, got into the Navy, went through that, and they had this segment called Hell Week. And that was the most humbling situation in my entire life, because I learned that just because you have a good resume and you do stuff that you're supposed to do does not give you in life. So then I had to figure out what was next in life. All right, so I go up to San Francisco. I work for a company called Indeed.com, and I'm doing just slamming the phone all day long. And what I learned, I thought was sales, but I realized it's not actually how you sell. You don't sell by cornering people, which is what I was learning. You ever seen the movie Boiler Room? That's what I was doing. But guess what I was doing nights and weekends? I was marketing for my dad's company again. San Francisco's so expensive. I lived in a freaking dining room. I'm probably working 70 hours a week to make ends meet, and push comes to shove, and I said, you know what, it's time. I want to start my own company. So I started looking at that, and my mom said, Logan, you already do marketing for your dad, just do that for more people. And I was like, damn, you're right, Mom, let me do that. So I made a small little announcement to some of my dad's contractor friends and started picking up a few clients. Well, nights and weekends, I was already filling up my schedule by doing my dad's company. I now started to bring on a few more people, and I didn't have time for the actual sales gig. So I remember one day I called out sick. It was the first time I've ever called out sick to work ever in any job at that point for the previous 10 years. Had never done it, and I did it, and I felt so bad about it. I went in the very next day, and I said, you know what? I quit. I'm sorry, I'm out. I'm starting my own company, and I can't juggle both. And if I'm gonna invest into something, I'm gonna put all my eggs into one basket, and I'm gonna bank on somebody. It's not gonna be Indeed. I'm gonna invest in myself. All right, so we're here in front of Novel Co-working. I've been out of this spot for about 2 years now, and here's really what I've learned over the past 2 years of being in this quote-unquote startup. We've gone from just me, starting off, brought Wayne in month one, and he was literally just gonna be part-time. Honestly, the only reason why I brought him on was because one of our buddies, Thomas, just said, hey man, I got a buddy of mine from college. You might have known him. Could you just talk to him? And I was like, dude, all right, I'll point him in the right direction. Well, lo and behold, we talked, we had a beer. He started working 5 hours a week for me, just strictly on a contractor basis, $10.99, all right? And then that slowly went from 5 hours to 10, 10 to 20, 20 up to 35. And then he came on full time. We had another guy named Turner. Turner came in as also, like actually as an unpaid intern to do the writing, because we realized how important the content is, right? So as we're picking up clients, Turner is now learning the contractor industry and construction industry because that was our niche. And that's kind of how I, quote unquote, fell into this. And since then, I've just been absolutely obsessed with the process, right? You hear that from Gary Vee, and at first I was like, why is this guy talking about that? I don't get it, but I know it now. Like, the end goal is gonna be great, but the actual like day in and day out grind of all this stuff, you learn to absolutely love it. And if you don't absolutely love it, then you just go away a lot faster. So 2 years in, statistically speaking, I think we beat like 80% of the market. I don't know what that is, but having a good year so far, and I can't wait for what next year has to offer. Remember I told you I was a diver? I'll show you something that probably makes me more unique than a lot of the other marketing companies out there. And here's what's crazy. Both myself and I think Wayne can even do one of these. I'm a little nervous. Whoa, hey, didn't notice you there. All right, so now you know the past 5 years of my life, especially the past 2, which has been all about growing this company and what's next for us. Well, just honestly, the more we grow, the more we actually niche down into what we're actually doing. So I would say if you're out there, whatever business you're in, or even if you're not in a business quite yet, figure out who you want to go for, right? And the more specific you get, the larger you get. It's counterintuitive to what you think is going to actually happen, but the more people you say no to, the better off you're gonna be. So, hope that was kind of a cool journey. And if you're thinking about starting your own digital marketing agency or business on your own, don't reinvent the wheel. That's the biggest takeaway I would say, is that I've tried a lot of things the hard way to go, oh, we're gonna try it different. And I realized there's a lot of really smart people out there that have already done it the hard way and figured out a better way, and I should have just listened to them since day one. So, there's my journey. Go out, make your own. Thanks.